of Earth.
The dominion of Earth. There's another layer to the true history of Earth that's need to surface. The Earth was never ours alone. We have shared it with another alien species that covertly invaded us thousands of years ago. They are the Draconian reptilian aka Syak-Arur, and they are of the adamant opinion that they are the true rulers of this solar system. They exercise their masterful skills of mind-controlled invasion, because they don't want war with us. We are a commodity resource to them. They prey on us, physically and mentally, and are able to come and go as they please using portal technology. Their end goal is total enslavement and complete control of the Earth humans. The truth, however, is that there was another race that was here first, our cousins from the Pleiades. As stated earlier, humans did not evolve on this planet, rather was seeded by the Elohim in the constellation of Lyra many eons ago. When the ferocious Draconian Empire invaded Lyra and killed over 50 million humans and almost destroyed the 4 planets. Some humans managed to flee to other star systems in this sector of the galaxy, including Vega, Pleiades, Sirius, and our system. When the Dracos decided to colonize and terraform Earth, place it in the Goldilocks zone. They put the moon in orbit so it could be used as a stepping stone for a later stage. In addition, the reptilians had earlier transformed Earth into a place for rich carbon life to thrive. As a food source, they brought with them the dinosaur species. A human colony settled on Mars and on Maldek, a huge waterfall planet between Mars and Jupiter. However, the Dracos decided to destroy Maldek and evaporate the atmosphere of Mars, resulting in the remains of Maldek to become the rings of Saturn. The humans of Maldek was mostly killed, but the many humans on Mars managed to flee underground. This travesty had an impact on Earth as well. Major amounts of water was dumped from the skies, and when the water resided, 2 large continents emerged: Lemuria and Atlantis. The other humans' colonies' solar systems formed an alliance that we today call the Galactic Federation of Worlds. A decision was made to oppose the reptilian dominion over Sol system. So the Federation sent a fierce race of advanced human warriors from the Pleiades called the Atlantis. They were highly evolved spiritually and viewed as a force to be reckoned with. When they arrived on Earth, quickly took the continent of Atlantis, while the reptilians mostly occupied the Lemurian continent. A war erupted immediately, and the Atlanteans first took out the dinosaurs, the reptilians' food source. Using advanced electromagnetic weaponry, they destabilized the continent of Lemuria by provoking earthquakes and floods. The Draco had no choice but to flee or go underground. The reptilian race had fortunately already built large cities underground with the infrastructure. Bogavita is the name of the main reptilian city that is located in Nepal. They built underground travel systems that would allow them to travel pole to pole in short time. From the poles they would also still be able to travel on and off this planet. They also possessed the electromagnetic weapon and had the capability to sink Atlantis if they desired. The Galactic Federation had underestimated the reptilian brilliant plan. Atlantis was taken down by the same weapon they themselves had imposed on the Lemurians, but many Atlans or Atlanteans had already left the Earth or ventured to other parts of the planet to form wisdom schools. They also went underground to form colonies in deep caverns and tunnels that formed the Agarthan network. The reptilians also remained underground in other parts, while the pre-Adamic human race thrived on the surface. The Galactic Federation, fronted by the Elohim, proceeded to contact the reptilian to form some sort of agreement due to the dispute of Earth. So the decision was made to allow the Draco to join in an endeavor to create a race of humans that would consist of DNA from 22 different species, including reptilian and representatives from the Galactic Federation. This multi-hybrid program is referred to as the Grand Experiment. The Federation did of course not trust the reptilians, but had no choice but to invite them. After all, they had some claim to this planet as well. The form would be human in appearance. The Alpha Draconians had one demand only: the new brain would be part reptilian and part mammalian, with high spiritual potential, compatible with 6th density. The reptilians secretly believed they would be able to control the humans from the 4th density, their original density. The reptilians now changed their tactics to a very covert mind-manipulating strategy that would last for centuries. They knew this would be their only chance to eventually reach Earth domination and domination. And they were no stranger to this kind of chess. As time passed on, the grand experiment, it was carefully watched from a distance. It was clear that the Dracos had successfully created a backdoor into our mind, and they carefully selected onto which entities they would project their negative influence. Their etheric companions, the Archons, more often took control over influential people in key positions. They via those puppets managed to create famine, wars, and other atrocities that would keep the humans in a low vibration state, thus unable to access their higher mind and spiritually evolve, as the other races in the Galactic Federation had expected. By creating all this chaos, the reptilian would be able to feed off the Lucifer energy and physically devour humans that got lost in wars or famines. First unofficial contact. The first to contact, in modern times, was made by the Orion Greys and U.S. President Eisenhower and other trusted officials. But the Greys were just the Trojan horse for the second but more physical covert invasion by the Syakar Empire. The Emperors also came to warn us, but without any luck. The Duhu and the Zrog also arrived to prepare further for the Draco Syakar's arrival. The Greys claimed to want to exchange technology for human DNA. Apparently they needed this to save their own species. The Pleiadians were then sent by the Galactic Federation of Worlds to warn Eisenhower about the hidden agenda, and that they would serve them clean energy, peace, and spiritual growth in exchange for not developing nuclear weapons. They did actually convince Eisenhower to refrain from any negotiations with the Orion Group, but it was too late. By this time the powerful MJ-12 faction had leapfrogged the president, and already committed to an alliance with the Orion Group, the Greys, King Alitu Court, and the Nagai, on behalf of the Syakar Empire, which eventually led to the Draconian and Orwellian influence we see today. This treaty is called the Greada Treaty. The Greada Treaty. The Greada Treaty was signed in 1954. Between the Greys and Majestic 12 Group, that was part of the covert government at the time, but acting on behalf of the Earth humans. This treaty was valid to 2021. 1. The extraterrestrials would not interfere in our affairs, and we would not interfere in theirs. 2. The US government would keep their presence hidden and inform the people by all means necessary. 3. The extraterrestrials would provide exotic and advanced technology to the US military. 4. The extraterrestrials would be allowed to take humans for testing and DNA harvesting as long as they were returned and mind-wiped. 5. The extraterrestrials would share the result of their experimentations with us. 6. The extraterrestrials would be granted bases and accommodation on Earth while present. The Galactic Federation had enough, and a new protocol was initiated. They would be able to warn us of our coming demise, and help us adjust our path. The Galactic Federation of Light would take on them to contact people around them that had soul agreements and star families, to act as beacons of light to help awaken people. We would have a certain window of time to reach this critical mass that would demand full disclosure and revolution on Earth. We are at the final stages, and about to be liberated with the help from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. As of 2021, the Syakar Empire and the Orion Group, along with the Greys Alliance, is now being escorted away from our solar system. The intervention from the Galactic Federation of Worlds was due to the fact the Greada Treaty ended, and this window of opportunity was open for intervention. If we go down the same path again, it will hold back the growth and spiritual evolvement of all. The grand experiment is now concluded, and it's time to step into our real potential as humans. We are multi-dimensional beings with the real capability of reach the fourth and even the fifth density, where negative energies are less compatible. This would mean a Star Trek-like future, where we would finally become part of the galactic neighborhood as members of the Galactic Federation of Worlds.